Our third and final match on this Saturday triple header is a big one. Top of the table clash, or at least in the top six. Taguig currently in second place, taking on Maharlika FC, who round out the championship round with sixth spot at the moment. It's expected to be a fantastic matchup, and we are extremely excited to bring you Taguig FC taking on Maharlika FC. Jing Hamlang and Diego Cordero calling the action for you on this one. Very little separating the two sides in the standings. It's 9 points at the moment. Taguig have been displaced of their position at the top of the standings momentarily, as they do have 2 games in hand against Kaya FC Iloilo, who currently occupy top spot with 27 points.
Yeah, Taguig, the team in the best position league-wise because they've played less games than the team currently above them. Also have the best goal difference so far in the whole league. But Maharlika, they did get that win against Stallion to put them into the top 6, at least give them a little bit of breathing room there. And yeah, again, it's not the first time that these two teams have met. Here are the highlights from their first round encounter. But it was a very close game that night. Only a 1-0 scoreline in favor of Taguig. And it was a scoreline also that could have been really challenged by Maharlika because they had the chances to change it. I'm expecting an equally close game tonight. And for sure, the neutrals will be hoping for the exact same.
It's one of those matches, actually, that although the scoreline went against Maharlika, it was one of the signals that they are ready to compete against the very best in the division. In the past, Maharlika was more of an afterthought for the big sides. Ngayon, they are really a team that you cannot ignore, Diego. They're a team that will make every encounter a tough test, and we expect tonight is going to be no different.
Exactly that. For Taguig, again, you know, they've made a statement really coming into this league. Only 1 loss to Manila Digger. They've beaten Kaya. They've beaten all the other big teams that they've had to play against. Started the season with beating Cebu and beating Aguilas. So, you know, this is a team with so much PFL quality, so much national team experience, and it's no wonder they're in a really good position in the league.
When you look at their lineup, it is truly impressive. Itong Taguig, so many national team players, as you mentioned, and they have great foreign recruits as well. When you look at the likes of Mark Hartman, Oliver Bias, Patrick Reichelt, Daisuke Sato, Andres Aldeguer, all of those players are in and around the national team or were formerly regulars in the national team. It is quite a lineup that they have assembled for Coach Arvin J. Soliman.
That's right. You have players here that have, you know, they're in the twilight of their career now, but that doesn't take away from their quality and their experience and technical ability, which only gets better with age. We also have players on the bench that could make an impact if things aren't going their way. They have a very deep bench, but the names that stand out are new signings, Zambrano Schrock and Diego Asperas. So if things aren't going their way, they can make changes. That is the luxury they have. Such a deep and reliable squad, it must be said.
Patrick Reichelt really made a splash early on in the season, but as of late, Mark Hartman has been pulling the strings in midfield and, you know, really creating trouble for the opposition in typical fashion. He continues to do it. He continues to impress at this level. Mark Hartman is really quite the talented player, and he is really a crucial weapon for Taguig in midfield. Now let's listen in to their head coach, Arvin J. Soliman.
Okay, so we're expecting this game a very tight one because they play against Kaya. Just only they only concede 2 goals, no. So now we're expecting Maharlika will really push us, no. So I hope we stick on our game plan and we get the 3 points today.
Arvin J. Soliman alluding to that last result of Maharlika, a 2-0 loss for the side of Coach Moon Hong. A tight affair, and in fact, it was only errors on the side of Maharlika that decided that game. Otherwise, a very, very competitive contest against the three-time champions in Kaya FC. That has been the development under Coach Moon Hong this season for Maharlika. They are now proper contenders in this league.
Yeah, that's right. They're a team that are punching above their weight. Only last season and the seasons before that, of course, they were a team that teams would encircle as a winnable game, it must be said. But this season, that's completely changed. They've given big teams a hard time. Again, only 1-0 last time in favor of Taguig when these two teams met. But Maharlika, again, against Sky, it was close, 2-0, but two errors really, because at phase of play, you'd say that it was quite an even game. Against Cebu, that was their only really, match where they could say they didn't really give a good account of themselves. Against Manila Digger, 3-2. Against Aguilas, the 2-1 loss. So they can compete with the teams that are above them in the PFL table. And of course, they had that wonderful win against Stallion that, finally allowed them to beat a big team. They won that match 3-1 to end 2025. And that's their blueprint, really, for big games, that performance against Stallion.
We take a look at this lineup. There's been quite a few changes. They welcome Yuya Kashiwabara to the lineup. They've got Jian Kim, who has been introduced. And they have as well another player in Jaeyoon Park, I believe, who has joined in the fray. So there's been a bit of a shuffle with regards to their foreign recruits, and it remains to be seen how they will impact this lineup for Coach Moon Hong.
Yeah, they've had to make a few adjustments because they've lost a couple players, a couple crucial players. Ozoka and Kang, who went back to the K2, that's the second division in Korea. So he's no longer in their midfield. They've had to make recruitments because of that. And yeah, they'll be feeling that they need to make a good start because they made that 2-0 loss against Kaya. That's not really a good account of themselves result-wise. They feel that they can break into the top 4 even, if we're going to take their words on social media. They're a team that are punching above their weight. I don't think anyone will dispute that, but they've done so successfully, especially in games that they've actually kept close to big teams. And a lot of these players, it's no wonder because they do have that PFL and PFL experience down the years. A lot of players that have had minutes in the bigger clubs in the PFL, now with Maharlika giving their experience to this new team.
One of the keys for Maharlika have been their recruitment of players that have been perhaps cast aside or appreciated with other squads. And one of those players is Michael Menzi, actually, who has played primarily, I think, one of the players with the most minutes across the league this season, and he's really made a home at the center of their defense. And defense is actually one of the attributes that you would say is a strength of Maharlika now this season.
Yeah, Menzi, the captain, one of the 4 captains in this Maharlika team, bounced around some PFL clubs, but yeah, as you said, he's found a home here. He scored against Stallion, so he led by example in that match, kept Finn McDaniel pretty quiet, I must say, that night. So he's going to be hoping to do the same tonight for Maharlika if they're going to get any favorable result.
A big part of their improvement has been the introduction of their new head coach, Moon Hong. Let's listen in to him now.
Today we're playing against Taguig, first in the league, and me being honest, I think they're the best team in this league. But we're not really scared of them. We prepare to attack and attack and attack. And I think now is up to the boys how they believe in our game. If they believe that they can win this game 3-0, I think we can beat them 3-0. So I want my boys to, instead of feeling the pressure, I want them to go out today and against the best team, I want them to enjoy their football. And I think as long as we enjoy, we express ourselves, we got a good chance having a good go at Taguig. So yeah, let's win tonight.
Right there, you're seeing one of the reasons why Maharlika are a transformed side. Outside of the tactical changes, the improvement in the way they are organized as a team, he has completely shifted the mindset and the way they approach matches in terms of their mentality. Coach Moon Hong there really just showcasing what it is all about for Maharlika, and that is the big question today, Diego. Will they be able to perform in a manner in which they believe they can beat Taguig?
Well, you heard it from Coach Moon Hong himself. he believes that One Taguig are the best team in the Philippines. But he's gonna harness the underdog sort of energy that is in this Maharlika team, and it worked out against Stallion. He'll be hoping out that it works out tonight against One Taguig again. He's gonna encourage his players to rise up to the level, acknowledging that there is a higher level than them, but also acknowledging that these are brave players. These are players that have PFL experience already, and these are players that can win against big teams.
Quite interestingly, he noted there that perhaps the way to victory is not to stifle One Taguig, but to put them on the back foot. And he is interested in attacking One Taguig in this game. So it is all set up to be a compelling fixture here between One Taguig, who are eager to return to the top of the table, up against a Maharlika side eager to make a statement. Round 1 went to the side of One Taguig. Round 2, Maharlika will be hoping to change the story. Here we go. Big matchup, our third and final match on this Saturday. Here come the players of One Taguig and Maharlika FC.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let us welcome the teams of One Taguig FC and Maharlika FC.
Daiso Crisato and Jurel Aristorenos, the two captains lined up alongside our officials for the day. Jesus Abogado will be leading things for our officials. He will be assisted by Paul Galicia and Ryan Flores. John Mike Basinang will be our fourth official. Mark Hartman on your screen, expected to be pulling the strings today for One Taguig. His range of passing, truly a sight to behold as we take a look at the starting lineup here for Coach Arvin J. Soliman.
Yeah, Mark Hartman, the league's top assister with 12. He's going to have chances to create for sure, set pieces or in open play. Definitely a player to watch out for, a player to look up to because he is, a really good model of a midfielder. For Maharlika, on the other hand, again, Coach Moon Hong said they cannot be scared of the level that One Taguig show, despite the fact that they're the best positioned team in the league in terms of the table. But there is a chance for Maharlika really to make another statement like they did against Stallion, that they do belong in the upper echelon of the PFL.
Looking at the substitutes here, quite a few options off the bench for One Taguig. Looking at their new signings there, Diego Aspiras as well as Stefan Schrock, you'd expect at some point for them to be involved. And for Maharlika, quite a few options as well. Kentaro Miyagi jumps out alongside Dean Barlet.
Definitely two deep benches that could be used if needed.
Here we go. We are underway here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. A game that is slightly delayed due to some light issues in the second match.
going to be interesting to see if Maharlika maintain this 100% man-on-man approach that they did against Kaya, that they did against Stallion. You know, they follow each Taguig player to a T.
Cross into the box. It's headed upwards. Opportunity here for one Taguig. That has been a staple for Maharlika. You mentioned their man-to-man approach. There's been an aggression to their game. There's been an intensity that has not been previously associated with their club. And it's really made life difficult for their opposition. Look at this. They're unafraid to play out the back, but they've given up the ball here. Reichelt! So close to opening the scoring.
That's a warning sign very early on. You're not going to get many against one Taguig. Maharlika, they need to acknowledge that, you know, this is going to be a high press from one Taguig. The intensity that the white shirts are going to put in is the best in the whole league. They need to be careful, and that was a warning shot from Patrick Reichelt. You do imagine if he gets another one of those opportunities, he'll be more clinical.
37 years of age now, Patrick Reichelt, but we saw in the first round how deadly he still is. Here he is once more. He's playing on the shoulder of that back line. Aldeguer battling for it. Just got away from Oliver Bias. Whistle is blown. First involvement for Jian Kim.
Looks like Aldeguer, usually a striker, is going to be deployed as a winger for one Taguig. Not the first time this season, though.
Continuation, actually, of an experiment that was made by Scott Cooper, who was in charge in the first round. Talked a bit about Andres Aldeguer's speed as being perhaps underrated, and that's the reason why he's being deployed in a position where he can really stretch his legs.
And you might not think it, actually, because at first glance he looks like a proper number 9. He is wearing the number 9 shirt. Very tall. Yeah, it's the speed that helps him out generate chances.
Hartman to take that first time to find Aldeguer.
Yeah, you know, whoever's, you know, in this man marking system, whoever's tasked with following Mark Hartman is gonna have to do a really, really good job. Because all Mark Hartman needs is a few seconds on the ball and he'll invent something with his range of passing. He has a chance to do it just here on a set piece. And yeah, set pieces, one Taguig are really strong on these. They beat Kaya with one. Maharlika have to be careful.
Tall players inside the box. That one unable to clear the front post. But it will go back to Mark Hartman for a second opportunity. Cross was deflected. Maharlika can clear their line and get up the pitch. First touch for Milos Kupic. Goes long to Reichelt. Maharlika unable to settle into this game just yet. Aldeguer. So we'll switch it. It's a lovely ball over to the left side. Hiraishi going backwards. Sends it. Mike Menzie will get that out for a corner kick. Maharlika on the back foot early on.
Yeah, they're under some real pressure. One Taguig doing a good job of pushing them back and gaining territory. Good counter pressure as well whenever they lose the ball. It's going to be another chance for Mark Hartman to send in a set piece again. Don't forget Maharlika conceded against Cebu early on from a corner kick.
This one a better delivery. A real chance there for Patrick Reichelt. He's going to be disappointed with that.
Second warning shot from Patrick Reichelt. He is, a renowned goal scorer. On another day, has 2 goals this early on. But if you're Maharlika, you have to stop allowing him to get on the end of things. Because if he keeps doing that, sooner rather than later, he will convert one of those chances.
Maharlika have had the confidence to play out the back this year. They've been finding it difficult against One Taguig though.
Great high pressure from One Taguig. Chance maybe here for Reichelt. Didn't know where the ball was.
It's been brought down. So good at inviting the challenge and taking it away at the final moment. De Gracia called for the foul.
Patrick Reichelt, not the biggest of strikers, but knows how to use his body, knows how to put himself about. Just said that he lost sight of the ball, and even then was able to generate something. And by the way, this is a lovely distance for the 2 free kick takers standing over the ball. Mark Hartman needs no introduction from this type of range.
Daisuke Sato providing the left-footed option. Who's it going to be here for One Taguig?
Well, this angle would favor a left footer, but again, we know the quality Hartman has in his ball striking.
Hartman will go for it. Kenry Balobo reads it well.
Good goalkeeping from Balobo. Hartman did enough to get it up and over the wall and back down into the goal frame, but not enough power on that one. Maharlika though, possession right back to One Taguig. This were a boxing match. Scorecards would currently favor One Taguig in terms of territory and the chances that they've had.
Hartman putting a stop to that attack. Makes it look simple as he knocks it around the corner for BS. Reichelt still has pace to burn. Great ball into the box and a fantastic opportunity. It's out for a corner kick.
Well, how many more warnings do Maharlika need? Patrick Reichelt is a danger man. And even at 37 years of age, still has that turn of pace. Mike Menzie was flat-footed and trailing. Chance once again for One Taguig.
Hartman's delivery. There's a free header. Created a bit of room there in the middle. And Stephen Holm so close to opening the scoring here. He's unable to find the target.
One Taguig will be feeling and asking themselves how they're not ahead. So many good openings already.
Maharlika finding it difficult to get out of their own half at the moment. They might be able to string together some passes here. Looking for the run of Ivan Owano. He's looking to take it first time.
Good acceleration from Owano. But he was just overstretching there at the end. Stephen Halm doing well just to put him off. And Stephen Halm, what a signing he's been from Stallion to One Taguig.
Omeso almost took it away. Long range effort here. That'll be easy for the goalkeeper. That's much better from Maharlika as Jaehyun Park got a shot away.
Maharlika, I think they're not going to go as high of a press as they did against Kaya and Stallion. Maybe acknowledging the quality that Taguig have. Here's Bias.
It's a player limping for Taguig. That's going to be a cause for concern.
Yes, Agyemang.
Seems to have pulled a hamstring.
He's the one that went down not too long ago. I imagine this is going to be an early end for him.
But he's involved here. Ooh, he's close to threading the needle for Hiraishi.
Yeah, Jing, he's still limping. I'm not sure how fit he is. Taguig haven't sent out any midfielder to warm up just yet. He's not moving that great.
Aristorenas. Aristorenas under a lot of pressure. Has his pocket pick. Menzi. Ball over the top. Calmly dealt with. Aldeguer. It's great control. It's great defending from Kashiwabara. Great tempo to the game.
Yeah, this game going at 100 miles an hour. Exactly what you'd expect from two teams in the upper part of the league. I think Maharlika just want to slow the game down a little bit. It's been fully chaos last few minutes or so.
Jaehyun waiting for Taguig to commit before getting the play restarted. Sato gets his head to that. Maharlika finding their way into the game. He's going to be offside, Reichelt. Seems to have shaken off what was bothering him. I don't see Isaac Agyemang. Confidence growing now for Maharlika. Halm getting his head to it. Sato.
It was a really good intervention of Stephen Halm. Had two attackers on rushing him, but he's composed enough to not only make the clearance, but to direct it straight into a teammate. A defender with so much quality, you'd forget. He's only 21 years old.
Hiraishi on the left side. Agyemang is brought down inside the box, and the referee waves away the appeals for a penalty.
Agyemang looks fine now. Dangerous moment there. Goes to ground. There is contact, but absolutely not enough for a penalty.
He's looked lively, the 26-year-old Ghanaian.
Here it is again, Jing. Maharlika just luring Taguig out of position. High risk, high reward strategy.
On this occasion, Taguig looking to punish them. Into the hands of Kenry Balobo. It's a nice overlap from Daisuke Sato.
Yeah, good combination play as well with Hiraishi. Balobo, a little bit lucky actually that he came coming for that cross and wasn't punished because he didn't get it on the first contact.
Yes. Nudged off the ball. Aristorenas. That's a good recovery from Gian Kim. Jae-hyun. And he gets it to Aristorenas. Gets it out wide. Jin-hyun gets it forward. Opportunity for Maharlika here. It was a fantastic chance. And what a miss hit from Gian Kim.
Well, if you're going up against One Taguig, one of the best defenses in the league, when you do get an opening like that, you have to take it, or at least test the goalkeeper, at least get it on target. Maybe he was a bit surprised actually that the ball actually found him. Really good cross. And Maharlika have woken up One Taguig. Need to be careful now not to let this wave of momentum keep going Maharlika's way.
And so much space there. Chance to keep the pressure on from the corner. Comes the delivery. Kupich goes for it. Giemang has Bias in support. Trying to get it out wide to Andres Aldeguer. He's got a bit of room here. Space opening up. Aldeguer pulls the trigger. Confident keeping from Kenry Balobo, who opted to control that with his feet.
There was a prime example of the counter-attacking prowess that One Taguig hold in their locker. Came from their own corner kick, and right away, Bias, Aldeguer, Agiemang on their bike. Really hard to stop once they start get going.
The 30-year-old is pulled back. Korean left winger Gian Kim will be hoping to get another shot at goal today. He'll be eager to make amends.
Hindi pa tapos ang laban.
Room out wide. Cross from Sato. Menzi behind that. It's a clear push to deny some forward progression. It's going to be a warning. And Yama goes down. Always felt this was going to be an issue in this game. This could be the moment that Agiemang will be replaced. There are a couple options already warming up, amongst them Stefan Schrock.
It would be quite some luxury to be able to bring on a player like Schrock onto your team. But the last time actually Schrock faced Maharlika for Stallion, he was man-marked out of the game. You could just see towards the end of that match, not only Schrock, but a few of the Stallion players running out of gas. They were outran by Maharlika that day. Again, this match really scrappy so far. After a good start by Taguig, Maharlika have woken up and could go either way. If I'm completely honest, Agiemang is walking off the pitch on the other side. So One Taguig gonna have to play with 10 for a moment. See if Maharlika try and capitalize.
Kashiwabara has needed very little time to acclimate to this level. Doesn't get much tougher than a game against One Taguig, but he hasn't looked out of place 22-year-old Japanese left back. And here he is. Tough one for him to control. Gyamang back in the game. Seems to be fit to continue. He's just made a sprint to the ball and pulled up rather gingerly. It seems unlikely he's going to be able to continue in this game. At least not for much longer.
Stefan Schrock is warming up with some energy now. But again, chance here for one Taguig, and no surprise it's come from Patrick Reichelt. Just knows how to back into the defenders. He'll fancy his chances against Mike Menzie. Quite an evil physical duel. And it gives a chance for Mark Hartman, the league's top assister, to pick out any of his teammates.
Delivery into the box. Patrick Reichelt fired that one into the ground. Kenry Balobo growingly getting more involved in this game.
Here it is again, Maharlika. They're trying to lure one Taguig out of place, trying to open up space in between their midfield and back line. So they're not rushing it. They're picking their moments when to speed up the tempo of the match. It's brave actually from Coach Moon Hong. Of course, high risk, high reward. And Mike Menzie is really frustrated actually that he had no options.
Entering the opposition half here. Maharlika calmly able to progress through. Header won by Stephen Hom.
Maharlika here have a set piece. It's now their turn to flood the penalty area of one Taguig. Just looking at it and eyeballing it from here, height advantage might slightly be with one Taguig, but you know, a good delivery and good movement can cause problems. Of course, Maharlika did score from a set piece against Stallion. That was through Menzie. He scored quite a few goals this season already from this type of scenario. Definitely be a target for the blue shirts.
It's actually Kashi Wabara who's going to take this one, and it's his left foot they're hoping will cause a bit of trouble here. And back into the middle, away from Hartman. Pressure relieved. Here comes the substitution now, and Stefan Schrock will be entering the match. And Gyamang will come off. 39-year-old Stefan Schrock will not have to wait long to get his first appearance back with one Taguig. Return to his former club. After a brief spell with Stallion, he is back.
Yeah, I wonder as well if Coach Moon Hong is gonna give new instructions to his midfielders because of the fact that Stefan Schrock has entered the fray. Again, he's gonna give a different type of problem compared to a Gyamang. Coach Moon Hong with the tactics board out, speaking to his midfielders. I'm like 99% sure that's about the introduction of Stefan Schrock and who's gonna pick him up whenever one Taguig have the ball.
If you know nothing about Stefan Schrock, all you need to know is he's entered the game with his collar turned up. That's the kind of player he is. That will go beyond the intended target into the hands of the goalkeeper. Game has settled a little bit in the last 5-7 minutes. Started off at a frantic pace.
This is interesting. Whenever one Taguig have the ball, based on Coach Moon Hong's instructions, it's going to be Yunsu Park, the number 99 of Maharlika. He's going to be absolutely glued to Stefan Schrock. That was how they played against him when he was with Stallion. And it's the same formula that Coach Moon Hong is going to use.
Lovely interplay here from Maharlika to play their way out of the pressure. That pass from Menzi cut out by Aldeguer. We're seeing the confidence here from Maharlika. Coach Moon Hong has instilled in them the belief that they are able to compete toe-to-toe with any team in the division. But Aldeguer now has got room to run. Doesn't have a lot of support. The recovery run was good.
Yeah, good counter pressure there from Maharlika. You know, you have to acknowledge that they're going to lose the ball against a better team, but it's the reaction that is important, and they react well when they lose the ball. They swarm the One Taguig players. It's that type of attitude that Coach Moon Hong has brought with him. Not necessarily something you could see Maharlika doing much of in previous seasons, but this season it's been no doubt.
Looking for the run of Daisuke Sato. That is a crunching challenge to take the ball away. I believe that was Haran de Gracia, who was able to get stuck in, and here he is being called into action. That's a tamed effort.
Actually came from Sato, that shot. Just causing one or two problems with his attacking intent, Daisuke Sato, because he's overlapping and underlapping. Hard to pick up, especially if you're the fullback and opposite winger of Maharlika. Very aggressive player, and he did get that assist to Goldeson Casemiro when these two teams last met.
They're going to find a way through. Spread the play over to the left side, shifting One Taguig from one side to the other. Entry ball though from Jin Hyun, not the best. Maharlika actually enjoying more of the ball as this game progresses.
Yeah, they've grown into this game. Bit lucky that they didn't find themselves behind earlier on.
You can see every time Kenny Balobo receives the ball, he's not interested in playing right away until Patrick Reichelt gets into a certain level of proximity.
Yeah, you can tell this is something rehearsed in the training ground from Coach Moon Hong.
Kept in play. It's a dangerous deflection there. Upic able to adjust his run.
It's a very high line as well from Maharlika, just behind the halfway line.
Challenging Reichelt, some missed clearance from De Gracia.
Once again, it's Yunsu Park. He's not leaving Stefan Schrock alone.
Whistle is blown for a late challenge from Aldeguer. Aristorenes having a word with the referee. There's a player down here for Maharlika. Looks like there was contact to the knee.
Well, this was a fixture of the round one counterpart of this match. It was a very physical game. Looks like that trend has continued. It was actually a game where a lot of yellow cards were dished out. Got very heated, actually. A lot of arguments. Just feel it starting to bubble up.
Jinjion on the receiving end there of a painful one. Chance here for Maharlika. Nobody making the run on the far side.
All the blue shirts gambling on the front post delivery. Not connecting with the back post chip. But they're getting into decent areas now, Maharlika. They weren't doing this in the opening 10 to 15 minutes, but as the half has went on, they've started to penetrate back line of one Taguig. And here it is again, Jing.
They want Raisha to at least make the effort so they can take out one man.
Very Roberto De Zerbi-esque.
Now, here come Taguig. They've obliged. That's when they can look up and progress the ball. They want to make one Taguig work.
You could actually hear someone shouting from the Maharlika bench, Shaman will be free. And that's the philosophy that this build-up entails.
Yes. Clearing it away. There's room in the middle here. Maharlika now can build it to the final third. Ball is delivered. Headed away. Ome under pressure. Sato. Looking for Hiraishi. De Gracia gets there. Stefan Schrock. Crowded. Maharlika now is starting to develop a bit of an advantage in this game.
A good tenacity from De Gracia. And Park once again sticking to Stefan Schrock. Game really even at this point. Bit of a chess match whenever Maharlika are building up the ball. Can they invent the spare man, and can they find the spare man?
To build on your boxing analogy earlier on, it seemed like in the opening 5 to 10 minutes they were on the ropes, finding themselves stuck in a corner, and now they fought their way out. And it's looking a lot like they've got the advantage, but one Taguig venturing forward now. Ishi's ball. Aldeguer. He's created a bit of room here. Andres Aldeguer lifts it. Ooh, Maharlika doing well to defend. Chance to get forward. Jinyon. De Gracia. Good start to the game, had De Gracia.
Good switch out. Maharlika using their width well. Combining down the flanks. Now Aldeguer, a little bit of gamesmanship from the young player. Aldeguer also having a good game so far. Invented that chance not too long ago with that cross. After creating space for himself. His game really on the edge at the moment.
Foul is called. Whistle won by Aldeguer. It's kind of been under the radar. Hanan De Gracia made his move from Tuloy. He's just 21 years of age. He's an under 23 player for the Philippines, but he's slotted in here next to Mike Menzi. He's proven very effective early on here.
And we spoke about it earlier, Jing. The promise of the Tuloy players. Here is even more evidence of it. Looks to be quite the center back. Not the tallest, but makes up for it in other ways. It's an obvious shirt pull. And Coach Moon Hong is livid, saying it's his first foul. How is it the yellow? Shirt pull, though, usually is the yellow card.
That's Nick Ferrer, who's being called for the yellow.
Coach Moon Hong will be even more frustrated if anything comes from this chance. Again, Mark Hartman, dangerous delivery for sure.
Conversation being had here. The referee just wants things to be toned down a little bit at the edge of the box. It's a great ball. Flag is up though. Akoto was offside. They won't count. Flag was up very early on that play. Let's have a look at it here. You see number 3, Akoto, darts in early. He's offside. The play continued. Players continuing on, and what a finish from Stefan Schrock, by the way.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the finish, that's for sure.
Physical in midfield. Ome losing it. Maharlika can venture forward.
Yeah, this midfield battle is interesting. You have the likes of Aristorena, Soma, Hartman, Schrock, Park. At the moment, no one really coming out on top. And by the way, there's going to be a yellow card shown to, I wouldn't be surprised if this to Coach Moon Hong for his protestations.
Coach Moon Hong getting a yellow card. He's confused and bewildered at the moment as to why. He's looking for an explanation. He's got to be careful here. He could talk his way into getting sent off.
Yeah, he's a presence that Maharlika really thrive off of on the touchline. Lose that presence could be a problem.
Taguig eager to get a bit more control. Stefan Schrock doing well. That one getting underneath Nicolas Ferrer. Hiraishi. It's a good ball forward. Oh, Reichelt unable to get a touch towards goal.
Patrick Reichelt, that's now his third real opportunity here in this first half. And the thing is about this chance, this is the type of chance you see him put over and put away. Usually clinical from that scenario. Maharlika a bit lucky there that so far at least Reichelt hasn't had his shooting boots. Of course that can change in an instant because of his quality and finishing, but could have been behind by now.
Reichelt has had a few opportunities. That is a crucial challenge from Akoto.
Stephen Hahn misjudged that. Akoto there to bail him out. Timed it well. Timed that wrong. That's a last man challenge. But he again shows his expert defending. The Ghanaian.
Bias gonna take matters in his own hands here. He's come up against two. Juan Taguig will look to press, hoping to squeeze Maharlika. It has paid off.
This match is so tightly contested at the moment. Question is begging, who is going to come up with a moment of magic, with that individual brilliance? Will it be a blue or white shirt? Could be anyone at this point.
Yes, rifles it into Aldeguer, who was close to cushioning it to Patrick Reichelt. De Gracia with a crucial intervention.
Yeah, he looks to be a proper player, Hiren De Gracia. Reads the game well. It's a good test to play against Patrick Reichelt as a center back, and at the moment he's giving a good display and repaying the faith that has been put onto him.
Balobo, that is a confident catch from the goalkeeper.
And here it is again, Jing. Sounds like a broken record at this point, but it's Maharlika's game plan. Straight from the training ground.
Switching it up a little bit here. Attracting the pressure, but going long. Not the best. This time from De Gracia. Mishit that one. Forward, looking for Gian. Makoto doing well alongside Hong. Mark Hartman had his pass cut out.
Hartman, by the way, looks like he may have hurt himself in that instance.
Control has dissipated for Juan Taguig. It's a much more even contest that we're seeing. It's a testament to the improvement of Maharlika over the course of this season. It's a bit of a late shot there from Mark Hartman. Konting paiiwan dito kay Kashiwabara. Hindi nakita ni Jesus Abogado. Perhaps a sign of the growing frustration for Juan Taguig. They've been pesky, Maharlika. Very good at getting a foot into this game. You can see just how aggressive they are off the ball.
Yeah, it's been an attitude shift this season for Maharlika. All boiling down to the appointment of Coach Moon Hong. But it was a similar performance in terms of intensity that they had against Kaya. Rather, what let them down that night was just falling asleep on two separate instances and paying the price. They cannot afford to do the same against a team like Juan Taguig.
Already kind of ridden their luck here on a few occasions where they've gone unpunished. Reishi being hounded by Ferrer. Stefan Schrock watched closely. Reichelt unable to time his header correctly. And Kenny Balobo again involved as he gets that one into his hands. Into added time now in this first half, still scoreless between Maharlika and Juan Taguig. It's going to be 3 minutes more.
It's interesting there actually. When Balobo was holding the ball, the referee had fingers in his hand, holding it up to the sky. I think that's a new rule that's being adopted across football. So goalkeeper can't hold onto the ball for a certain amount of seconds, and it's being played out there because Malobos holding onto it for quite some time there. Nice to see that that rule has gone all the way to the PFL.
Wano running at Sato, pulls the trigger. And Kupic didn't get a touch.
I think Owano actually drags this shot, but what makes it dangerous was the on-rushing Maharlika winger. So the shot could have turned into a really good cross. I think you just have to be a bit careful now. Owano has made 1 or 2 runs in behind. Keep an eye out for him. Got an assist against Stallion. From that same scenario, ran in behind, made the assist.
Got to be careful here, Ferrer. He's walking the tightrope. He's already in the referee's book. Schrock. It's a good ball in. Just beyond Andres Aldeguer. Lobo wanting his team to progress forward. Stephen Halm gets his body in the way of that one.
Stephen Halm went into that full throttle, but that's the type of defender he is. When his midfielders need help, he's gonna aggressively charge forward, enter any duel against anyone.
Hartman. He's just a little bit behind Stefan Schrock, but he still managed to find a way. Still oozes quality, Stefan Schrock.
And that one straight out of street football. Maybe even surprised Reichelt. People will criticize him because of his age. But in terms of actual quality, that has never left those legs.
Coach Moon Hong, just 34 years of age, by the way. He's transformed this Maharlika side into a real battling team. And One Taguig feeling the full effects of that after this first half. Scoreless at the break. Fantastic start for One Taguig. You'd feel there were some chances there to be buried for them. But as it stands, Maharlika able to make their way back into the game and really compete at a very high level against a team at the top of the standings. That's how it finishes after 45. One Taguig 0, Maharlika 0. We'll be right back. Fantastic matchup on our hands between One Taguig and Maharlika. Nothing separating the two sides after 45 minutes. It's been a very tight contest. One Taguig starting off very well, but Maharlika found their way into the game and really settled in nicely. Difficult to figure out who has the upper hand in this one. Diego, your assessment of the first 45.
It's been a great game, very tightly contested. In terms of possession, you know, mostly with One Taguig, but in terms of the actual intensity of the game and the chances created, you feel it's quite even. I'm sure both coaching staffs now making small adjustments in this halftime break, you know, because there's a game to be won for both of these teams.
You look at the statistics, it seems very one-sided, but it certainly hasn't played out that way on the pitch. 13 shots, 10 on target for One Taguig, 6-3 for Maharlika, but they have looked threatening going forward, with Ivan Owano in particular with an opportunity. Patrick Reichelt has had perhaps 3 opportunities to open the scoring for One Taguig, hasn't been able to convert as of yet, but we all know his quality. Stefan Schrock has been brought in early on to replace the injured Giemang, and he's been stellar since coming on. Now, 15 minutes inside the dugout for both teams. What would be your message if you are Coach Arvin J. Soliman, and what would be your message if you are Coach Moon Hong?
Yeah, for Coach Soliman, Jing, we spoke about it off air. You know, Ferrer is on a yellow card, a fullback on a yellow card. You know, you have to attack that side, both with their winger Hiraishi and with Sato, you know, who's been overlapping time and time again. You know, that's a good way forward. Again, he's on a yellow card. One more foul, and it could spell trouble. Haran de Gracia is also in that side. He's played well, but he is very young. You never know youth at this stage if they can maybe capitulate. But at the moment, that's really it, because it's been a really, really tightly contested battle for Coach Moon Hong. I think the message will actually be, you know, more of the same. They've proven that they can play, albeit direct. They can play and find the likes of Owano in behind. You know, that was their avenue forward against Stallion. It's their best chance again in this second half against One Taguig FC.
Mark Hartman on your screen. Influential early on, perhaps not so influential as the half wore on. Meanwhile, Stefan Schrock, he may be 39 years of age, but boy does he still ooze quality and class on the pitch. He's so difficult to mark, even in tight spaces. Darren Hartman on your screen, just giving out some instructions to the boys. He is part of the coaching staff here at One Taguig. Meanwhile, for Maharlika FC, you can see the fight, the spirit, the intensity from this side. They're getting stronger and stronger, and they have settled in nicely into this game. But what could it be that takes them one step further and perhaps able to breach this One Taguig side?
Yeah, they did show it a few times in that first half, and there was that big chance actually very early on for Gian. You know, he found himself free in the penalty area. If you're Maharlika, you have to keep playing your game, and a chance like that will come. Then it will become a matter of actually taking that chance. You know, for Maharlika, actually, you know, their game plan could be quite similar to One Taguig's game plan. You know, attack that left-hand side. Oli Bias is a great player, but he's naturally a winger. So there's definitely something there for the wingers of Maharlika to look forward to.
And here we go. Second half action about to get underway here. Maharlika getting us started. Glad you could join us for this match. One Taguig looking to return to the summit of the standings. And meanwhile, Maharlika looking to shore up their position in the top 6. And that's a great ball forward. Early chance for Maharlika, forcing a great stop from the goalkeeper.
There was direct in behind, and Kupic is the reason it's now 1-0 in favor of Maharlika. What about that pass from Haran de Gracia? You know, I called him young, but there's nothing youthful about that pass.
Jin Hyun with the opportunity. And what a start to this half for Maharlika. Sato. Touch there by Gia, and he's brought down. It's going to be a yellow card, you'd think. Nope. So it was unintentional from Stephen Halm.
Yeah, I think, you know, they're asking for the yellow card because of where the foul happened and how many One Taguig players were behind Halm when he made that foul. Not a lot. Which means to say that, you know, if that foul didn't happen, there's a good chance from this scenario. And that's why they're asking for the yellow card.
It looks like the yellow card will be given after a conversation with the fourth official. Stephen Halm will get booked. Fantastic opportunity here for Maharlika, who started off very nicely in this second half.
And in a game as deadlocked as this one, you know, a free kick could be the difference. Simple as that. Moment of magic from either of the two standing over the ball.
From a great distance. Far enough that you can get it up and over the wall. Close enough that you could be a real threat. Oh, short. Opportunity right in front of goal. And Owano has managed to deflect it away from goal.
How about that? That was straight out of the training ground. A draw play drawn out. Almost like American football. Interesting solution to a set piece.
Saw one Taguig completely caught out on that play. What a moment for Maharlika. Two really good chances in the opening 3 minutes. Sato going on a piggyback right there. Easy whistle.
Both of these teams really want to get that win. For Juan Taguig, it's to stay at the top of the table. For Maharlika, it's to stay in control of 6th place because Stallion are going to play next week as well. And they need to recover from that loss to Kaya. So there's so much incentive in getting 3 points for both of these teams. And that's why it's so tightly drawn out in the second half.
Slight nudge on Hartman, draws the whistle. We talked about the improvement and the difference of Maharlika this season. Just that approach and that they are looking to win this game, not trying to get something out of it. They feel like the game is there for the taking against Juan Taguig.
And it would be such a huge boost for Maharlika if they can get all 3 points. What a statement that would be across the whole league.
Of course, Kaya FC will be looking at this match, thinking they won't mind a Maharlika victory. Hiraishi's ball.
That all came from a blindside pass from Stefan Schrock. Great vision to find Hiraishi. Aldeguerra gambled at the front post delivery. Couldn't pay off. Dangerous moment there nonetheless though. And again, it's down that left-hand side for Juan Taguig.
Schrock. Fantastic control. Almost set Reichelt free. Both teams have wasted no time in this second half. Trying to find room on the right side. Kashiwabara continuing what has been an impressive debut for Maharlika. Gonna spread the ball over to Owano. Sato there to shut the door.
Again, this match, this second half, completely in the balance because neither side really able to control the game that, in the way that they would want to. Dan Hartman there also off your picture. Really angry at his team.
looking for a bit more tempo when they do have the ball. Koto not taking any chances here. He's just been full of confidence, the left back. Kashiwabara, just 22 years of age. Feels like he's been playing here in the PFL for a long time. He's come out of nowhere, really. Not the best pass from Balobo. Taguig now trying to make the pressure pay.
The game at this stage begs the question of any of these players, you know, who's going to stand up for their team and step up, grab the game by the scruff of the neck. There are the individuals on the field at the moment to do just that. Be interesting to see if any of them actually do it.
Yes. Maharlika now trying to venture forward. Shot trying to play it around the corner. Reichelt unable to keep it in play.
You know, neither side sending out any subs to warm up. That gives me the impression that both coaches still believe in their game plan, and subs are not in the mind of either coach until perhaps a goal is scored or if the state of the game changes by a big margin.
As you say that, a trio make their way to warm up for Maharlika. We're getting closer to that hour mark where changes are usually made. Well tracked by Haren de Gracia.
A draw would do either of these teams any good either. To help their rivals, in fact. Again, that means that the incentive is there for the win.
Just a tad loose. Menzi will go back to Balobo. Gracia, look at that ball.
That's Maharlika's game plan. Can you invent the spare man? And then can you find him with a pass like that? Aaron De Gracia looks to be really excellent in terms of ball playing.
Meanwhile, on the opposite side, Oliver Diaz getting stuck in, getting that ball away from danger for one Taguig. See the position that Nicholas Ferrer is taking here for Maharlika. He's trying to be found by Michael Menzi. That's been the kind of inventiveness that Maharlika are employing. Not afraid to commit.
Yeah, and it doesn't pay off that time, but when Maharlika lose the ball, what's the reaction like? And great challenge there from Yunsu Park, getting stuck in. If I remember correctly, he actually plays most of his game at left back. And he's playing in midfield, and he's given a good account of himself. So it's a sign of a good and versatile player. Kenjing.
Quick look there at Haren de Gracia. Sorry to cut you off there, Diego.
Yeah. Again, Taguig going down that left-hand side a lot in the second half. Do wonder down the line if any subs could be made to reinforce that left-hand side.
Chance here. Sato lining it up. Straight into the chest of Kenry Balobo.
Had a lot of space there actually for Sato. Might be disappointed actually with the shot that eventually followed.
Oh, it's time to pass from De Gracia, causing a bit of trouble. Oh, numbers forward here for Maharlika. Aristorena's brought down. That's got to be a foul. And there is a player down in Kenry Balobo. Referee Jesus Abogado has a few things to attend to. Kenry Balobo has taken contact. And then there is the matter of whether or not you're going to book a Cotto here for the foul.
Yeah, a lot to unpack there. So there was a chance of that Haran De Gracia misplayed pass. Reichelt, you know, it's not that often where he has so many opportunities. He doesn't take any. And I think in the follow-through, he just collided with Balobo. Then you had the counter-attack. It was 3-on-2 for a moment before Aristorenas was floored. But it's actually Owano who needs treatment at the moment. It's just a little bit of cramp. Game opened up there for a bit.
Taguig, so close to scoring, then so close to potentially conceding. It's been that kind of game. Transitions have been lightning fast. Cotto now awaits his fate. Jesus Abogado. Not take any extra action on Cotto. Coach Moon Hong needs to be careful here on a yellow himself.
Must say Cotto is quite lucky there, because it was a challenge he made that, you know, stopped an attack. Didn't have much defenders behind him as well.
In fact, kung ikukumpira mo siya dun kay Stephen Hum, si Stephen Hum, you could argue parang nadulas lang siya.
Yeah.
And this one looked a little bit more deliberate from Cotto.
It's going to be a sub also for Maharlika.
Kupic being hounded. Releases that one to Aldeguer. Hartman trying to get Reichelt involved. The whistle will go against him. Kentaro Miyagi being readied. Right on the hour mark. It looks like the race is run for Ivan Owano.
Substitution for Maharlika FC.
A great chance earlier on, Ivan Owano.
Player number 17, Ivan Owano, replaced by player number 24, Kentaro Miyagi.
Looks like Kentaro Miyagi is going to slot into that number 9 position.
It's like for like here. Raishi! Play still alive, Stefan Schrock. Floated back in. Gian has dropped to a more withdrawn position. Sato goes down. Jesus Abogado had a great look at everything. Yellow card already out for Jesus Abogado. Daisuke Sato, no stranger to these types of situations.
This is how the first fixture went. A lot of scuffles, and no surprise that it's carried over into this one. I'm really curious what sort of punishments the referee is going to hand out. We don't have the privilege of VAR in the Philippines, but a lot to unpack nonetheless for the refereeing team.
Take a look at this, and it's going to be quite glaring if we do get a chance to take a look at that incident, because Gian Park's body positioning actually is, he goes straight up and he does not duck his head. And you look at the reaction from Sato. You see he's puffed out his chest. So there's a yellow card to Sato. He's anticipating the contact, knows he can make the most of it there. But he's gotten himself booked, actually, Daisuke Sato, for his troubles. If I'm not mistaken, both players booked on this one. And the referee, Jesus Abogado, uninterested to discuss it any further. And perhaps the right call here from the referee.
I don't think there was anything there really from either team that warranted a red. Oh, it's going to continue here though.
Yellow card on Stefan Shaw coming in very late. Medyo na-plancha niya dito ang player ng Maharlika. Jae-hyun will feel that tonight and tomorrow.
Game's gonna enter quite a weird stage now because you have both of the teams with their rhythm completely broken as that ball was hit right at Schrock. Yeah, the rhythm of this match completely stopped by that last play, and it's gonna stop once again.
Now Stefan Schrock's got to be careful. He looks like he might get sent off. Jesus Abogado's gonna have a word.
Who would be a referee?
Jesus Abogado's doing well to control matters. Stefan Schrock now all of a sudden on a tightrope himself. He's been booked. He's just gotten a foul again. Anything reckless in the middle of midfield, and he could be tossed.
Emotion just bubbling over now. And the referee is actually making the run over to the fourth official. This means that there's going to be a discussion about something before the game continues. Flow of the game interrupted by all of this extracurricular activities. But, you know, such is the emotion in this match. It's going to be a red card. Oh, yellow card, actually.
That's on Dennis Lucindo. He's being given a yellow. Well, at least they're sharing it. And Coach Moon Hong can avoid being given a yellow, because that would mean he would be sent off with a second. But the play will continue. Free kick for Maharlika. Delivery into the box. Reichelt will touch it out for a corner kick.
Reichelt's a bit lucky there. That touch could have gone anywhere. It was in a dangerous area, but that was really good delivery into a dangerous area. You know, that area between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box. Tested the backline there. That was Jinyon. And he's gonna have a chance to do another delivery.
Corner kick here for Maharlika. Good ball into the box. Kupic gets a hand to it. Maharlika doing their best to crowd the area of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, that 6-yard box was packed with bodies. And one of the best teams in the world, Arsenal, they do a similar thing. They just crowd out the opposite goalkeeper because it means that any touch off the ball will bounce to a dangerous area. Unfortunately, though, for Maharlika, someone committed something illegal. Again, set pieces in a game as tight as this, it could spell the difference.
Aldeguer. Pass is short to Omei. Lovely turn of direction, but runs out of real estate. That'll be a yellow. A delay of game. Nope, just a warning. Jin Yun there throwing the ball behind the advertising boards to deny the opportunity to play quickly. That is definitely gonna be a yellow. Kentaro Miyagi might be his first involvement, but that was an easy call for Jesus Abogado. Merong sneaky na paiwan, hindi yun yun.
Definitely not. Right in front of the fourth official. No one was going to escape that.
Menzi holding his ground well. Schrock. Menzi gets his head to it, and again, cleared away. All battling with Miyagi. Happy to get that one out of touch.
Safety first for Stephen Hom. He knows that this game could be decided on a fine margin. Safe, better than sorry. Do imagine now also that coaching staff of One Taguig would be thinking about changes. Only 20 minutes left in this one. You do have some options on the bench, some potential game changers. Yeah, at the moment, you know, even making a sub brings its own risk. Will you kind of ruin the rhythm of your team?
Maharlika preparing a change of their own.
Looks to be Fahmi Ibrahim, one of their forward players, formerly with Stallion. Scored a lot of goals actually this season. I think he's their top scorer at the moment.
It's quite a luxury to be able to bring on your top scorer off the bench. Maharlika being made to work out, to work hard rather, to get out of this press. They are navigating it. Finally dispossessed. BS.
One or two Olays ringing out from the Maharlika dugout.
Charlie Beaton also going to be introduced. He's going to make his Maharlika debut. Stafford Schrock rifles it into Aldeguer. Gets it out wide. BS will have a bit of room, but he does have some chasing to do. Hartman can put in a good ball. Fantastic delivery. Reichelt only able to get it over the bar. Time now for some substitutions.
Yeah, that cross is slightly behind Reichelt, so he wasn't running onto it. But again, Hartman could be a difference maker as well in his own right because of those deliveries. As we see the two game changers for Maharlika. One Taguig also out of your picture. Gonna prepare one of their own. I do wonder if one of these Maharlika changes are injury-based. Aristarenas has hit the deck.
Jorel Aristarenas coming off for Yancy Beat. Charlie Beat. And Ibrahim will take the place of Jian Kim. Like for like changes, it seems. Fresh legs for Coach Moon Hong. Captain Jorel Aristarenas has put in a good shift today. Battling performance from Aristarenas. And Charlie Yancy Beaton will have to acclimate to the tempo of the game very quickly.
It looks like he's gonna slot into that number 10 position. Looks like he'll be given the license to be the player that just roams around a little bit between the lines with runners in and around him.
Sato getting it forward. Sato forced backwards.
Very good work rate off the ball for Maharlika and Kintaro Miyagi, pressing the entire back line of one Taguig. Ibrahim is going to slot into this right wing spot. Has a little work to do actually, tracking Daisuke Sato, because he's made a lot of runs in behind.
Aldeguer has been the preferred outlet recently here. Now there's going to be a substitution. It looks like Andres Aldeguer will make way. In his place is Ichiro Aoki.
Whoa! Stefan Schrock! Difference maker. Out of nowhere. I was still looking at my stat sheet.
Incredible from Stefan Schrock. Opens the scoring. A crucial goal for one Taguig. He's been the spark of inspiration since coming on. Let's have a look at it here. Knocked onto his path and he's headed it home. Sato Schrock connection.
For one Taguig FC.
A connection straight from the Ascal's era. But for Maharlika, they'll be so disappointed because they've stuck close to one Taguig in this game. In the end, they just fall asleep. No one guarding the near post, no one reading the header from Sato. And it was a free header from Schrock. He's not an aerially dominant player, but with no one near him, he's just gonna turn that into the back of the net. No chance for Balobo.
And Sato, the left back, getting involved there. What a big goal for one Taguig.
And our friends at Kaya FC Iloilo disappointed at that, because it means at the moment one Taguig will reclaim that number 1 spot with less games played. They are in a really good position. 15 minutes now to close out this game. It's about game management now. For Maharlika, you have to throw the kitchen sink. You have nothing to lose now.
Sato coming in. Full commitment with his head. Foul called. Now Maharlika have an opportunity to get bodies forward.
You think back now to that chance right as the second half started. Kupic making that save at 0-0 in his one-on-one. Fine margins. These games are decided by fine margins.
Ball into the box. It's gonna be a corner kick from Maharlika. Everybody back for Taguig.
It's gonna be the same setup as earlier, Jing. Crowd out Milos Kupic. Any touch is a dangerous touch.
Taguig not interested in having an outlet on this occasion. comes the delivery. Jin Hyun. It's a good ball. It's headed away. Maharlika trying to pick up the pieces. Ibrahim trying to create a bit of room. He fired onto the near post. Kupic doing well. Player down here for Taguig. Darren Hartman having a stern word with the officials. Reichelt, I believe, was the player down. Putting some ice on his head, but he'll be all right. It looks like there's going to be a booking here for Darren Hartman for his little outburst here on the sideline. Here comes Jesus Abogado, brandishing the yellow. It's been very busy today. It looks like Milos Kupic is going to get a talking to from the referee as well. Or it's just going to be a drop ball. Not a lot of time now for Maharlika. 10 minutes to go.
It's going to be a sub also for Maharlika. Actually, a double sub. As I mentioned, they have to go for it now. You know, if you lose game 2-0 off the counter, it's a risk they're going to take.
Dangerous ball back from Ferrer. Balobo, quick about his wits. Maharlika on the verge of a storyline they are well familiar with. Stuck in, very competitive for large parts of the game. In a moment when they lack a bit of concentration, they get punished. And they'll walk away with nothing. That is, of course, if they are unable to change the script here with a bit of time to go and some fresh legs to be introduced.
Yeah, two of them actually, Opong and Cho. These are two players that scored in their win against Stallion in 2025 in that 3-1 victory. Cho, in fact, actually scored off the bench, so he does have that super sub capability off the bench. How they would love a goal from him in the last 10 minutes.
Jin Hyun makes way, and so does Yuya Kashiwabara.
Replaced by player number 77,
Last roll of the dice here for Coach Moon Hong.
Replaced by player number 25, Daniel Omo.
Touched on by Reichelt. Aoki full of running. That's going to go back to Balobo. He's got the captain's armband here for Maharlika.
Looks like Fami has shifted over to the left-hand side. It's going to be a one-on-one against Ollie Bias, while Chose one-on-one against Daisuke Sato. Kentaro Miyagi and Charlie Beaton, the two attacking central for Maharlika. Have 4 players in their front line. They're going to go for it now. They have no other choice.
Kupic off his line. Gets to it. Confident goalkeeping. It's a great throw out as well. Reichelt able to pick up the pieces. Nice little exchange. Oppo can get it out wide. The two substitutes linking up. Woo Yuk Cho to attack Daisuke Sato. Schrock providing a bit of support. Easy for Hom. Aoki. Taguig happy to slow things down.
Yeah, Mark Hartman, whenever Taguig can, they have to give him the ball because he just calms things down. And Charlie Beaton, the one task with staying closest to him, was a bit late. A couple of occasions, just allowed Mark Hartman to control the match.
Rishi. Conservative approach. Gets it to BS. Holds off Beaton. Hartman. Swing it over to Sato. Forcing Maharlika to come out of their shell. Aoki. Great pass to release Aoki. Maharlika now under pressure. They can get out, they can get numbers forward. Shaw making a good run. He's got room. Can he pick out the pass? Sato, important stop. Beaton was in acres of space. Schrock. Gets it to Reichelt. Omeg. Want the gig exerting control of this match. Loose pass from BS.
What a challenge from Sooma.
Reishi, well read by De Gracia. Didn't bite on any of those step overs, just took it away. Opong. Important touch. BS. Missed with the tackle. Sato. Batted away. And now Maharlika with a real opportunity. Ibrahim! Ibrahim! That is blocked by Stephen Hom. Reichelt is onside. What a chance that was. Great defending from One Taguig. Kupic struggling at the moment. Looks like there's going to be a substitution to be made. Kurt Dizon being readied.
That was a chance, Jing, for Fami moments ago. Do ask the question, did he slightly overrun it? But he got himself into a good position and the shot was on. It was a colossal block, really, from Stephen Halm to halt that attack. Anyway, just want to give a shout out. You know, even if he's on the losing end of tonight's game, I think Haran de Gracia has been superb at center back, up against, you know, one of the toughest teams, if not the toughest team to play in the whole country. Again, a product of Tuloy. So it's nice to see that they can also step into a bigger club, quote unquote, and prove their worth.
Definitely, Haran de Gracia has impressed. They're going to need more here. Pete Forosuelo and Kurt Dizon being ready to come on to close out this contest. Stephen Halm looks like he has run his race. Struggling at the moment.
I imagine as well, you know, this could mean quite a hefty amount of stoppage time. A lot of stoppages to this game. You recall the earlier incident where the referee had to review, issue countless yellow cards. Couple injuries here and there also. To be completely honest, the flow of this game has been interrupted multiple occasions. One Taguig will not care if the full-time whistle is blown with this scoreline.
Hiraishi off, replaced by Kurt Dizon. Pete Forosuelo will check in for Stephen Halm. That's quite a blow for one Taguig, considering the heroics of Stephen Halm in the last few minutes. It must be serious if he's being stretchered off. He's literally just 5 to 7 meters away from the sideline there. Could not make his way over to the bench.
Substitution for Taguig FC. Player number 18, Naoto Hiraishi, replaced by
Skupic is
player
fine
number 19,
in goal.
Kurt Dizon.
While
Player number 55,
one Taguig have been able to stifle the flow of the game here for the time being. As you mentioned, Diego, there will be quite a bit of time added on. Here comes John Mike Basinang. 8 minutes for Maharlika.
Coach Moon Hong nodding his head. He approves. And he gives Maharlika the chance to search for that equalizer.
8 minutes of additional time.
Schrock goes down.
Not a good time to commit fouls if you're Maharlika. You know, they're gonna allow one Taguig to eat up more minutes, eat up more seconds.
Schrock still down here. He's taking a painful one on the calf. Maharlika able to regain possession quickly. Played quickly to Beaton. Just controlled it well and had it poked away. And again, foul committed. It's another stoppage. Not ideal for Maharlika.
Hartman knew what he was doing there. Just positioned his body in between Beaton and the ball. Beaton just over-eager. Commits the foul.
The scoreline remains 1 Taguig, will make it 9 wins in the season. You'd say it's quite a good return for this side. Looking like real title contenders. Kurt Dizon has that one blocked. De Gracia behind that.
Yeah, Kurt Dizon just has a little bit more energy in his legs compared to everyone else coming off the bench. And as you imagine, One Taguig are in no rush to take this corner kick. Mark Hartman making the walk from midfield to the corner flag.
Casual stroll. Opportunity to seal this contest. Hartman's delivery. Oof! Not far away, Akoto. Able to create a bit of separation. Opong only able to get it to Bias. Schrock. Aoki. Schrock shielding the ball well. Ibrahim trying to get it forward with haste. Kupic will send this one long. Reichelt. Unable to get away. Opong now. Bit of room. Cho.
Oh, that won't help.
It's a miscontrol from Cho. And that's a tough one to take for Maharlika. What an opportunity that would have been. Had a bit of freedom in front of him.
A better first touch. Could have took on Sato one-on-one.
Opong doing well. Koto's clearance. Just out of bounds. Ferrer. Unsure. Opong lost his footing. Omei getting it forward. Reichelt within a chance here. Feeding Omei. And is blocked. Lifted up into the air by De Gracia. Rice is subverted. Reichelt and Omei almost combining to seal the deal here for One Taguig.
Yeah, well, with the attempt of pouring more bodies forward, Maharlika just left a huge gap in their back line. Nearly exploited there. I think One Taguig will take this corner kick as well, because it presents another opportunity just to run down the clock. I do wonder how lenient the referee will be with his own discretion when we actually reach 8 minutes. One Taguig are exactly where they want to be.
Not a lot of time left. Less than 2 minutes to go. Reichelt has racked up quite a number of shots today. Hasn't found the good fortune of finding the back of the net, but he's been very busy in front. De Gracia leaves it into Beaton. Better touch now from Cho. This could be a crucial moment. No more time left. It's going to be a free kick. Lobo asking if he should go.
He is. He's going to go.
Has been given the go-ahead by Coach Moon Hong. Everybody up for Maharlika. Delivery into the box. Lobo almost there to attack. Shaw is onside. This one into the hands of Kupic. Charlie beaten. Making contact with the goalkeeper, which was actually pretty clever. He knew Balobo was out of position. Needed to delay the game slightly. That might be it here for one Taguig. We're past the 8 minutes allotted. There were some stoppages within those 8 minutes. So I wonder how much more time will be added on. Sabogado will provide a little more time. Lobo gets it forward. Hartman with a nice touch to Ome. And that is it. Final whistle. One Taguig have done the business. They needed 3 points and they got 3 points. Stefan Schrock, the hero tonight, as one Taguig returned to the summit of the Philippines Football League.
Well, in these big games, the question, when the games are so tight, when there's a deadlock, can you find a way to still win? And one Taguig found that way through Stefan Schrock. Nothing to separate these two teams until that moment. And it was the finest of margins, a 1-0 victory, a repeat of their round 1 encounter. One Taguig, they won't care how ugly it was. All that matters is that they got the 3 points and they're back to first place.
Maharlika put in a very good effort, a valiant effort here against one Taguig, but in the end, it took one lapse for them to be denied any points. Maharlika proving once again that they are a difficult out in the PFL. However, just a step short still from the elite teams of the division. Take a look at the full-time statistics. 44% possession for Maharlika, 24 shots, 16 on target for one Taguig. And in the end, it was an unlikely header from Stefan Schrock that made the difference. There it is, job done for one Taguig. After 90 minutes, they get their victory and they keep on rolling here in the PFL. Finishes one Taguig 1, Maharlika 0. My partner Diego Cordero, my name is Jing Hamlang. Thank you for watching. As you can see, one Taguig returns to the summit with a game in hand. Maharlika still in that highly coveted 6th spot with a cutoff into the championship round, but Stallion Laguna have 2 games in hand. It's all going to get very tight in the race to make it into the top 6. Another great game here in the 2nd round now of the PFL, and we hope you guys continue to enjoy the action as things unfold this season. We'll be back in action much more quickly in the coming days. There's going to be a midweek match day on a Wednesday, so make sure you tune in to that. And again, for Diego Cordero, my name is Jing Hamlang. We thank you for watching. Good night.
Congratulations on the win. What are your thoughts on the game?
Congratulations to the team. We had a very big shift to deliver. Maharlika played good, and we got lucky. Or we earned it more. We wanted it more, and in the end, we deserved the 3 points, I guess.
How do you plan to move forward given the results?
Well, we have to work hard. We have a big target on our back, and we have a good squad, good coaching, good management. Very happy with what we produced so far, and but the fight is not over yet.
And lastly, any message to the fans?
Yeah, keep coming out. It's good that a couple of more than the last season. Keep improving. We keep inviting everyone to come and support the league. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.